Good evening and welcome to the 601st regular meeting of the City of Laurel Planning Commission. This meeting is being conducted virtually via Zoom. The agenda and materials have been available on cityoflaurel.org. I will call for we have just one speaker signed up, but at appropriate times I will call to see if there is anyone else wishing to speak. Ms. Quillen, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Sidnor,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Mr. Kish,
Here.
Mr. Welford, Mr. Grant,
Here.
Chairwoman Bettman.
Here.
You have a quorum, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 2, the approval of the minutes from the July 11, 2023 meeting. We have each received these via email. Are there any questions for staff? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion. Do I have a motion for the minutes?
Madam Chair, I will move to approve the minutes of the July 11th meeting.
Do I have a second?
Madam Chair, I move to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Ms. Quillen, if you will please call the roll.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes?
Mr. Grant,
Yes.
Mr. Kish.
I abstain.
Thank you. Chairwoman Bettman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 3, the amended site and landscape plan and resolution number 23-14-PC 301 2nd Street, filed by Lucas Jiffy Lube. Included in this agenda item is a public hearing on the application and final action by the Planning Commission. We'll now hear the staff report.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commission members. This is Emily Klein-Gibson with ECD presenting the staff report. The applicant is seeking amended site and landscape approval to construct a 505 square foot addition to the existing Jiffy Lube building, as well as renovate the existing parking lot and dumpster enclosure located in the rear of the property. The proposed addition will be located on the front and left side of the building, and the applicant states that the addition will improve the customer service waiting area, computer area, and will include a renovated accessible restroom. Several trees and shrubs will be removed for the construction of the addition, but the property will maintain at least 10% green space as required in section 20-7.11 of the Unified Land Development Code. The proposed addition will also not exceed building lot coverage and setback requirements. For the parking lot, the applicant proposes to mill and overlay the pavement located in the rear. The existing 7 parking spaces plus 1 existing ADA space will remain, and no additional parking spaces will be created. A handicapped accessible aisle, 8 feet wide by 18 feet long, will be added to the right of the ADA space, and a 5 foot wide striped pathway will lead from the aisle to the building door. The existing dumpster enclosure located in the rear left corner of the property will be replaced with new fencing. The City of Laurel Department of Public Works, Department of the Fire Marshal and Permit Services, and Verizon all provided comments, which can be found in the staff report. The applicant has acknowledged the comments and will make necessary revisions during the permitting process. Staff recommends that the City of Laurel Planning Commission approve the amended site and landscape plan and resolution number 23-14-PC for 301 2nd Street with the following conditions. The applicant shall obtain all appropriate City of Laurel permits. The applicant shall comply with applicable local, state, and federal laws and regulations in the development of the property, and the applicant shall contact Miss Utility prior to any excavation. This concludes the reading of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Klein-Gibson. Mr. Kish, any questions for staff?
None, thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
None, thank you.
Mr. Grant?
None, thanks.
Thank you. Councilman Sidnor?
No question, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I will open the public hearing on this agenda item at 6:05 p.m. I do not have anyone signed up for this agenda item. Let me pause. Is there anyone wishing to speak? I will close the public hearing with no one speaking on this agenda item. If there are no questions, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I will move to approve the amended site and landscape plan and including the resolution number 2314-PC for 301 Second Street, including the staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Do I have a second?
Madam Chair, I'll make the second.
Thank you, Mr. Kish. Ms. Quillen, if you would please call the roll.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Kish,
Yes.
Mr. Grant,
Yes.
Chairwoman Bettman,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 4, special exception application number 946, 24 C Street, Suite 100, filed by Clyopatra, Winery and Vineyard for recommendation to the Board of Appeals. We'll start with the staff report, please.
Oh, yes, good evening, Madam Chair and fellow commission members. This is Joshua Mitchum, ECD staff. The applicant is seeking special exception approval to establish and operate a winery boutique business at 24 C Street, Unit 100, formerly occupied by the Sips Coffee Shop. Per the submitted site and floor plans submitted by the applicant, there are no interior or exterior renovations to the space that are being proposed at this time. The proposed hours of operation are as follows. Monday, the business will be closed. Tuesday through Thursday, the business is proposed to be open from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. And Friday to Sunday, the business is proposed to be open from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. In addition to standard operation, the applicant states that the business will hold private events and membership events. The applicant states that the business will offer small plates and desserts to pair with the wines that will be offered. Per section 20-21.1 of the ULDC, which lists 5 specific criteria for special exceptions, the applicant states that the proposed use is in harmony with the purpose and intent of the comprehensive master plan. The proposed use of a boutique winery is in harmony with the zone's intent of encouraging the continuation and establishment of small businesses and entertainment facilities. Second, the applicant states that the use will not adversely affect the health, safety, or welfare of the residents/workers in the area. And the proposed use of a boutique winery is not heavily industrialized, nor is it a use that would promote negative health outcomes of surrounding populations. Number 3, the applicant states that the use will not be detrimental to the use, peaceful enjoyment, economic value, or development of the surrounding properties in the general neighborhoods. The proposed use of a boutique winery would not cause any objectionable noise, vibrations, fumes, odor, or dust, and is not proposed to be a live entertainment venue that would cause excessive noise and or traffic. Number 4, the applicant states that the business will not overburden existing public services and utilities. The use will be located in an existing commercial shell within an existing residential structure that will provide it with adequate utilities and will not overburden the surrounding public services and facilities. Lastly, the applicant states that the proposed use meets the definitions and specific standards set forth elsewhere in 20-21.1, and this department agrees with that assessment. The proposed business will not be adding or taking away from the existing parking regulations of 24 C Street. And staff recommends that the City of Laurel Planning Commission recommends approval to the City of Laurel Board of Appeals for special exception application number 946 with the following conditions. The applicant shall obtain all applicable City of Laurel permits. The applicant shall adhere to the regulations set forth by the City of Laurel noise ordinance at all times of operation. No external speakers for live or pre-recorded entertainment shall be permitted on premises. The applicant shall adhere to the approved hours of operation as stated in the technical staff report, and if changed, shall notify the city. And lastly, the applicant shall comply with all federal, state, and local laws and regulations for the protection of the use of the property. That concludes the reading of my staff report, and the applicant is available for any questions if needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This agenda item is for recommendation to the Board of Appeals. A public hearing is not requested. As Mr. Mitchum announced, the applicant is on the phone. So what I'd like to do is go through each person to see if you have any questions for staff or the applicant. Mr. Kish.
Thank you, Chairman Bettman. I do have one question. I know that parking is always at a premium for any new businesses that are opening up in Laurel. And this one in particular, do have one question. I've been down there a couple times. There is no handicap parking for that establishment. Has there anybody looked into that with the ADA?
I'll just I can chime in, Robert, if you want to chime in as well. I believe since this is a planned existing structure, a residential facility, they would have been required to have the required ADA spaces, before this was erected. So we can double check on that, but per the establishment of the building, it should have the required ADA spaces.
We can also look for if we need to place any of them on the street there too, Mr. Kish, by the business. But typically with those bigger developments, Josh is correct that there would have been required parking within the establishment to be able to do that. But we can definitely check on that, and if needed, we can talk to the establishment or even Public Works about getting some ADA spaces.
Well, I just asked that because I've had 2 calls about that there has never been any handicap parking there, signs for people that need that thing. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, I just wanted to, let me stick with the parking. So because this is an existing building, we don't have to do a parking analysis. Is that right, Mr. Mitchum?
Yes. So as it is a commercial use, it would still have to comply with the schedule of parking requirements in the ULDC. With C Street Flats having 154 parking spaces, the amount of parking that the applicant would be using for this business would still be, the site itself would still be in compliance with what is required for that development.
One of the things that I think might help is I don't think the average person that doesn't live at C Street. So can anybody park anywhere in C Street Flats? Can I go into the apartment area and park my vehicle to go to the winery?
That would be to the determination of C Street Flats as a private entity. If they were to have, I know that since this is a residential community, some spaces are marked reserved for residents. So I'm sure that there are existing free spaces, so to speak.
But you see the dilemma, right, Mr. Mitchum?
Yeah, Mr. Wilson, if I could jump in there. So with this one, it is they are in a parking modification zone, which does not require parking for them. They do have a couple spaces within the facility that are designated for their use, as well as the ones up front. And there's a parking lot across the street, going across Main Street there, that we're going to have them utilize. And then if this becomes too big of an issue, we're going to talk with the owners of the parking lot behind the old meat market there to see if there's something that could be worked out. But being in a parking modification zone, they actually weren't required to have parking.
What I think might be helpful to the neighborhood there is if this applicant would put up a sign somewhere, a little map that says, oh, by the way, I know SIP tried to keep people from parking across the street, and they would just basically say, if you park over there, you're going to get towed. But I think if the applicant would put up a little map that says, here's some areas where you can park. Because I just don't think, the average person coming in that doesn't live there knows that, there's parking along the street. There's a couple of city-owned lots, within decent walking distance. I just think it would help. Obviously, we'll have to have, if somebody parks illegally or parks in the wrong spot, they'll get towed. And I get all that. I just wondered if we can just maybe move things along by asking the applicant to meet us halfway there. And
Absolutely.
I'll let the applicant respond to that.
And absolutely. And I actually I'm glad you brought that up. We were actually going to encourage them, because I know there was this those who signed up to speak or across the street were worried about that. We were going to have them encourage people and show this is where you can park, do not park over there. So that was going to be encouraged, definitely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Bates.
To the applicant, would you please state your name and address for the record and acknowledge whether you agree with what Mr. Wilson was just saying, or if you have any other comments on that, please?
Hello everybody, good evening. My name is Ifeoma Onya and the address is 24 C Street, Laurel, Maryland, 20707. And I do agree with Mr. Wilson, to your question, we have no problem at all actually putting the sign out and actually training our staff to be able to help people when they come in and if they have any issue with parking. On C Street, on the same side where we are and across the street, they're open public parking, and across Main Street, they're parking over there. So we'll definitely encourage them to park over there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Grant.
Yeah, I just have one quick question as to the hours of operation again. You're closed Mondays, Tuesdays through the weekends. You're open until 1 p.m. Is that it?
That's over the weekends, but we actually we're open till 1 p.m., but we're open to the public till 12, and then we clean up till 1.
Okay, good. Thanks. I just wanted some clarification there. Fine.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Councilmember Sidnor.
Yes, I just want to make a couple statements. When I heard about this property coming to the city, I was very excited, and I was like, wow, where they gonna park at? Then I learned that they can park on Main Street and they can park in an open space as well. So I think this is a very good project for our city to encourage people to come to Main Street. It's a winery, so a lot of folks like to drink wine and have boutiques. So I'm excited about this. I just hope the Planning Commission will move it forward to the Board of Appeals. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Is there anyone else that is on this call wishing to speak on this item?
Yes.
Welcome. If you would please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. I'm Panayotis Alupis. I go by Peter. I'm the owner of 13 C Street, Municipal Square Office Park, immediately across the street from this property. And I've signed up to speak. I don't know if now is the appropriate time.
Yes, it is, sir.
Thank you. I want to thank the council members. My concern is your concern as well. The adequacy of parking for this business. Prior to the winery, it was a cafe. We have a history of problems regarding parking and this business. There is not adequate parking inside the 24 C Street flats. All of that's taken up by residential parking. There are 2 spaces on C Street in front of this business. And that's all there are, because then there's fire hydrants and whatever. And then on my side of the street, there is no street parking. There is no curb. I have front-end parking in front of my building, as you can see on the drawing. Front-end parking, and then I have a private parking lot on the side of my building, which I believe one of the applicants incorrectly said was public parking. And so therein lies our problem. Is there is not, I don't know how many seats. I grew up in the restaurant business, and I know you have to have X number of parking spaces per seat in a restaurant. There's only 2 on the street in front of the building. Anything behind the building in the parking lot of the complex, you'd have to walk all the way around the building to get to the entrance of this business, which people tend not to do. So in the past, I would say 90% of the customers of this business would illegally park in our lot. I would sit there and watch them walk off. I would politely ask them not to park there. They would ignore me and go in and get their coffee, saying it was only going to be a minute. I put up signs for towing. I don't know if it was the patrons or the business itself that was vandalizing the signs, taking them down. It has been an absolute nightmare trying to enforce. And I have 10 tenants in my building, combinations of doctors and lawyers and other professionals. And we need every single parking space we have for our tenants. There are no extra parking spaces on our side of the street. So really, there's only 2 public parking spaces in front of this building. There are other businesses, if you see on the map where it says Venus Theater, on our side of the street, there's 4 or 5 businesses in that building, and there's only a few public spaces in front of that property on the street. So parking has really been a nightmare, and it's been an absolute battle. We've had police come, towing companies. It's just been a nightmare. And I want to be a good neighbor, but also I don't want to have to continue this fight. So I want to know more about how they plan to prevent this. And my second point, and pardon me for speaking too much, my second point is at the back of our side parking lot is a dumpster for our building. And it's marked private and no dumping allowed and cameras. Routinely, that cafe and even the residents of 24 flats dump their trash in my dumpster. I've actually confronted a couple of them, watched them do it, and they said, well, their dumpster is on the other side of the complex, too far away from them. They live closer to C Street. And so they were unapologetic and didn't stop. I've actually gone into the dumpster and opened up trash bags and found envelopes for residents of 24 flats. And I've had the police go and knock on their doors. So between parking and trash, I'd like the applicant to address that and see how we're going to avoid this from continuing to be the problem it has been for years.
Thank you. I believe the applicant addressed the parking, and we do share your concern. And in terms of the parking and the Main Street public, we deal with that year round. I would like the applicant just to acknowledge. Now, this is not who you have had the issue with the trash, correct? You're referring to the previous owner.
The previous owner, the cafe.
Okay, so
and I want to address that so it doesn't happen. And then the other thing is right next to, yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I would just like to ask the applicant just to acknowledge that you have heard this concern and that will not be an issue. If you can let us know that as a commission.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pete. So I've heard your concern. The people that you had the issue with before were the previous people. The other tenants that are in the building, I believe that the landlord had already written to them and that has been taken care of. I'm moving in there as a new tenant to bring much needed services to the city of Laurel, and I intend to actually practice as a good neighbor. I'm gonna make sure that people don't park in your parking spaces. Your people park in front of the place. Even as of today that I was in the building, they were there. I didn't say anything to them. But
the street parking are public spaces. Our parking is private.
No, the one
not but Pete, the parking spaces on the street in front of your building are public also, correct?
No, on my side of the building, there's no curb. All the spaces are front in on my property in front of my building. They're private. Okay. So everything on my side of the street is private.
Thank you.
Correct. But the building next to you, have curbside parking that are free for everybody. We're going to make sure that our clients utilize those. And also the spot that I was talking about is the parking space on the other side, not your place, but right across the main street. They're parking, public parking over there. And that's where the people will be utilizing. Your dumpster is too far away for us. We have a proper dumpster at the back. We're going to be generating a lot of bottles. We're not going to put those into your bottle. We're going to put them in the right place, which they gave me the code to today. That's what we're going to be using, because we're going to be, everything is not going to be general trash. So some of them have to be recycled. I don't believe you have that. I'm not moving into the community to be able to utilize your privately owned properties. We're going to be the one that is provided.
Thank you very much for both of you, and I apologize for creating a cross discussion between the two. I didn't mean to do that, but thank you. Looking forward to this. Pete, did you have one more point before I close off this discussion?
No, that'll be all, and I really appreciate the council members for hearing our concerns and the assurance of the of our new neighbor to help us enforce the illegal parking and the illegal dumping.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. If there are no further questions from the commission or Councilmember Sidnor, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I will move to recommend to the Board of Appeals approval of the special exception application number 946 for 24 C Street as filed by the applicant, including the staff report.
Thank you. Do I have a second, please?
Madam Chair, I move to
I'll-
second the
I'll
motion.
second that.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Ms. Quillen, if you would please call the roll.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes,
Mr. Grant,
Yes,
Mr. Kish,
Yes,
Chairwoman Bettman,
Yes, and if I could please ask for, I'm sorry. Ms. Quillen, go ahead and say your part, and then I have one more thing to add.
okay, motion carries.
Thank you. What I would ask is for if Mr. Mitchum or Ms. Quillen, whoever is doing the recommendation to the Board of Appeals, if it is appropriate, whether it's in the technical staff report, I don't think we need another motion for this, but if it could be said to the Board of Appeals that the issue of parking was raised by the commissioners, by a resident, and that it was discussed and recognized also by the applicant, so that it's kind of in the record that we have talked about this. And just I'd like to have that. Is that possible?
Yeah, sure.
yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would like to, can we show Mr. Mitchum again, please? To our commissioners and to anyone that is watching this evening, on behalf of the City of Laurel Planning Commission, I would like to thank Josh Mitchum for his last report to us. You have been a great and wonderful planner and presenter, and someone who has worked well with the citizens of Laurel, and I understand congratulations are in order and you are accepting a position elsewhere. And I would just like to say thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I'm gonna miss every one of you very dearly, and I will be in contact and work with the city in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
luck.
very much. Moving on to agenda item 5, text amendment application number 264, ordinance number 2016. An ordinance to the Unified Land Development Code to update the use tables in the residential and commercial zones, schedule of parking requirements, special exceptions, section exemptions, and supplements to zone regulations and the definitions section. The proposed update is part of a comprehensive review and update of the city's zoning code for recommendation to the mayor and city council.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commission members.
Thank
Before you is text amendment 264, ordinance 2016, as required by the City of Laurel Code, providing legislation to amend the Laurel City Code, Chapter 20, Land Development and Subdivision Regulations, Article 1 Zoning, to update the use tables in the residential commercial zones, to update the schedule of parking requirements, to update the special exceptions section, to update the exceptions and supplements to the zone regulations, and to update the definitions. So this is we're done, but this is the 7th phase of the Unified Land Development Code update. The proposed changes would add several definitions, update the residential use table for respite care facilities. It would update the commercial use table to allow for tattoo parlors and body piercing studios in various commercial areas, update the parking requirements section. It would create an electric vehicle charging station requirements. It would update the solar energy collection panels section, and it would update the special exception section for respite care. Overall, there were 7 sections amended in this particular update. It is recommended that the Planning Commission recommend approval of text amendment 264, ordinance number 2016, to the mayor and city council, and I am available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Love. We'll switch up the order. Mr. Wilson, any questions?
no, just a comment. I read through it fairly closely and I like it. I want to commend once again Mr. Love and his department and the entire city on the green initiatives. I think if you look at it closely, you'll find that, 25 charging stations?
20. It's one every 25 dwelling units.
One out of every 25. And then for homeowners, you get a rebate, partial rebate on your permit fee if you want to put in a charging unit. So with my wife bugging me about a plug-in hybrid, I might be coming and doing this soon. But anyhow, I think this just shows the commitment of the city council, the mayor, and everybody in the city for sustainability. I applaud you all, and I think it was a great change to the code.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Grant?
No questions, thanks, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Kish?
I think it's a great, it was a great initiative, and this is what Laurel's about. Change and new stuff, and that is that's what I like to see. Even when we become 80 years old, you want to see change, but you don't want to see all this too much change, because you might not be able to keep up with it. So I thank everybody, all the city council members, and you, Mr. Love, and your group for doing these things. So with that, I'll shut up.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kish. Council Member Sidnor?
I agree with everything you guys said. We heard this a couple of days ago, the work session here last night. So totally in support of it. Like you say, sustainability, saving the environment, because you see how hot it was this summer. So something has to be done, and we're moving forward with it. So I echo the same compliments. Thank you.
Thank you. And if we have people watching, you could also see it on the mayor and city council. One of the things that commissioners had asked the staff to look at in terms of respite care in residential areas. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I too think it is very comprehensive, and appreciate that we make changes as necessary. With that, I do not have anyone signed up to speak. Is there anyone on the call that would like to speak to this text amendment? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I will move to recommend approval to the City Council of text amendment application number 264.
Thank you. Do I have a
second that, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Kish. Ms. Quillen, if you would please call the roll.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kish?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Yes.
Chairwoman Bettman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And again, thank you to Laurel TV for all that you do for us for these Zoom calls and during our meetings. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good to see you guys.
You too,
Take
Rex.
care of yourself.
Thank you.